'Twas the night before Christmas, but COVID was here, so we all had to be extra careful this year. Our masks were all hung by the chimney with care, in case Santa forgot his and needed a spare. With COVID we couldn't leave cookies or cake, so we left Santa hand sanitizer to take. The children were sleeping, the brave little tots. The ones over 5 had just had their first shots. And Mom in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled in for a long winter's nap. But we tossed and we turned all night in our beds as visions of variants danced in our heads. Gamma and Delta and now Omicron, these COVID mutations just go on and on. I thought to myself, if this doesn't get better, I'll soon be familiar with every Greek letter. Then just as I started to drift off and doze, a clatter of noise from the front lawn arose. I leapt from my bed and ran straight down the stair. I opened the door and an old gent stood there. His N95 made him look pretty weird, but I knew who he was by his red suit and beard. I kept 6 feet away, but blurted out quick, "What are you doing here?" "Jolly Saint Nick." I said, "Where's your presents, your reindeer and sleigh? Don't you know that tomorrow will be Christmas Day?" And Santa stood there looking sad in the snow, and he started to tell me a long tale of woe. He said he'd been stuck at the North Pole alone. All his white-collar elves had been working from home, and most of the others said, "Santa, don't hire us. We can live on the CERB now, thanks to the virus." Those left in the toy shop had little to do. With supply chain disruptions, they could make nothing new. And as for the reindeer, they'd all gone away. None of them left to pull on his sleigh. He said Dasher and Dancer were in quarantine. Prancer and Vixen refused the vaccine. Comet and Cupid were in ICU. So were Donner and Blitzen. They might not pull through. And Rudolph's career can't be resurrected. With his shiny red nose, they all think he's infected. When even with his old sleigh, Santa couldn't get far. Every border to cross needs a new PCR. Santa sighed as he told me how nice it would be if children could once again sit on his knee. He couldn't care less if they're naughty or nice, but they'd have to show proof that they'd had their shot twice. But then the old twinkle returned to his eyes, and he said that he brought me a Christmas surprise. When I unwrapped the box and opened it wide, starlight and rainbows streamed out from inside. Some letters whirled around and flew up to the sky, and they spelled out a word that was 40 feet high. Their first was an H, then an O, then a P. Then I saw it spelled hope when he added the E. "Christmas magic," said Santa as he smiled through his beard. Then suddenly all of the reindeer appeared. He jumped into his sleigh and he waved me goodbye. Then he soared o'er the rooftops and into the sky. I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Get your vaccines, my friend, Merry Christmas, good night." Then I went back to bed and a sweet Christmas dream of a world where we'd finished with COVID-19.